didn't even get to cross.
How you guys doing? Range X. Today we're going to be doing a countdown of 5 overrated players. Kind of the stipulation today is the player has to be considered much better than what they actually are, whether they're a star or role player. So this could mean someone who's like an 89 or 90. People, ride their dick as if they're like a 99 or 98, and that's just not the case. So I mean, this is for role players and star players or trash players. Nobody's excluded. So at number 5, we're going to have Gordon Hayward. I think that Gordon Hayward, I know that Gordon Hayward, you can't consider him to be a top 5 small forward in the league or a shooting guard in the league, because he just needs a lot of help. If you look at what he was stacked with last season, he had this motherfucker had ISO Joe. ISO Joe was looking nice. He had a couple clutch shots in the playoffs that saved the Jazz. He was looking really good last year. Rodney Hood was looking pretty good as well. Rudy Gobert, he's such a great player all around. He needs to work on a couple offensive things, but Rudy Gobert was playing well. So is Derek Favors, George Hill. I mean, as you can see, I listed off like 4 or 5 players that have great impact on the floor. They're all 10+ point per game players, like in the 15 range, around there. They're all very productive on the floor. So I mean, he goes around a lot of double screens. He needs a lot of screens to score. Numbers do lie. I mean, I hate when motherfuckers act like they look at stats only. You have to look at stats in context, because somebody like this guy who he averages 21 points per game, but you have to ask, how does he average them? Can he score a majority of them off of hard? I'm not saying you have to take hard shots, but you can't say that Gordon Hayward's going to go to any team. He'll be a great fit for any team. He goes to the Celtics. Once again, he's in the role spot, and he's going to thrive there, yes, but let's not say and act like this motherfucker can go toe to toe with the best small forwards in the league, because he can't. On to number 4. This is somebody who I don't hate people. I don't hate people at all. That's just something that's just really malicious and evil. But I really don't like this guy as a basketball player. He has no defensive ability. Chandler Parsons. He can shoot the 3 ball. I hate his shot too. It's super flat. It's ugly as fuck. But this guy, he's overall a decent little player. But what disgusts me is his productivity, because this guy, he went to the Mavericks. He's already overrated on the Houston Rockets. He can't do much in terms of his abilities. He's a decent little role player, but it's the fact that he gets so much beneficiary off the people he plays with. He played with James Harden and Dwight Howard back in Houston, where they draw a lot of the attention away. I say this a lot because people drawing attention, that's a big thing. Drawing the attention away, and his salary right now for the Grizzlies, he scored 6.1 points per game with the Grizzlies. And this motherfucker averaged 6.1 points, but his salary was 22 mil. I'm going to throw out a player like Dion Waiters, who was playing very well for the Heat this last year. His new salary, this is a big contract for him. His new salary is $13 million. So I'm saying it's not hard to go around the NBA and find better production for a cheaper price. You can go easily Dion Waiters, someone like that. You can go anywhere else and get a decent 2-guard or a 3-man for much cheaper, who's going to produce on the court. Just one thing I wanted to know with Chandler Parsons, his defense is absolutely horrendous. It's shite. Like, this guy in the playoffs back in like 2014, this guy Damian Lillard was his man on this screenplay, and Damian Lillard literally ran out of nowhere. He just ran and sprinted to the left side of the court. This is the infamous shot that everyone's probably seen and heard of by now. The shot heard around the world. This guy nailed a 3-pointer in right on Chandler Parsons. That was Chandler Parsons' man. That was his fault on the screen. He didn't call it. He was supposed to be the guy on the play who calls everything, because he can see the whole court. He lost his man. Man hit the shot. Ended the series. Chandler Parsons is just horrendous on defense. He's not really that offensively gifted. And when you're a role player that's not trying hard, you're useless. So I want to go on to number 3, and this one's kind of going to shock you guys. But I have to talk about James Harden. Now, James Harden, I love this guy on offense. Offensively speaking, this motherfucker, he's productive. This guy, he gets assists, he gets points. He averages almost like 30 points per game. He's at 29. This guy averages a double-double, a pretty deep double-double. He almost averaged a triple-double last year. But once again, we have to look at how he's doing it. Because, he had a lot of assists, but he had almost 6 turnovers per game. So I mean, that turns your assist to turnover ratio pretty bad. It's not looking too hot. Then we look at his defense. This is something that we have to touch on. His defense is absolutely trash. Oh my, this motherfucker. He doesn't shuffle his feet. He doesn't close out. And in a playoff game, this matters, man. Because even if you score a high amount of points, when you allow a lot of points, it means nothing. So for example, let's say I drop 25 points tonight, right? But I let you score 20 as well. All of a sudden, my 25-point night, it turns useless because it's like I only scored 5 points because I allowed you to come back and score 20. And that's kind of how James Harden is. His terrible defense kind of negates his high scoring. And honestly, this is why it hasn't translated to playoff success. This is why you can't compete with other top talent in the league and win multiple series, go deep. So that's just something to keep in mind. Great regular season player, great player overall. This is someone you want to have, but his defense has to improve if you want to be considered, a little better. I just think that we dick ride him a little bit too hard to put him in MVP races when he doesn't play defense. Number 2, we have DeMarcus Cousins. This is a similar situation. I mean, the top 3 players, they're all similar situations where these motherfuckers don't play D. DeMarcus Cousins, he's a different kind of defense, no bad defense though, because James Harden, he doesn't try, but DeMarcus Cousins, he takes forever to get back up the court. I mean, yeah, he's a big man. He gets double doubles. It's great. He gets crazy double doubles. This motherfucker has 3-point shooting ability as a center. That's very useful. But this guy, when you have someone who's not getting back on defense, that instantly turns every single missed shot or missed rebound into an easy 2 for the other team. And that crap adds up quickly because let's say he doesn't run back 10 to 15 times a game, right? All of a sudden, that's like 20 to 30 points caused because of him. Because the motherfuckers are playing 3-on-2 on the fast break or 2-on-1 when he could have been back there. Or they're playing 5-on-4 and he could have been back, but he's taking forever to get back because he's cherry picking. This is a lazy brand of basketball, and honestly, it doesn't translate well in playoff success, and not even in regular season. So I mean, one of the reasons I haven't put him at number 1 for this overrated is because this could be partially attributed to the fact that he's been on bad teams. He's never been in a winning situation where he'd probably want to play. But also, I mean, I watched the games. I've seen a lot of the times this guy, he just doesn't run back. So overrated, I think so, because people regard him as like the best center in the league. But I'm sorry, you can't be considered the best center in the league when you have players like Cat. Anthony Davis doesn't play center, but he kind of does. Players like that who will run back and they'll play D. They just don't allow shit like that to happen. So, sorry, DeMarcus Cousins, though. He just can't be considered like in the 95 rating or 93 that people want to put him at. I say he's a high 80s, but if your defense isn't right, you can't excel. Then I'm gonna go to Kyrie Irving. At number 1, I'm not gonna count his rookie stats or his second year stats. Basically, all the years that LeBron wasn't there, I'm not gonna count those because that's just not fair to any player. He was in a terrible situation for the first 2 or 3 years. It took him a while to get going with a winning situation. He was always good, but it took him a while to get going with a winning situation. But it's the same situation. He just can't play D. And another thing with Kyrie is that his brand of offense doesn't translate well to playing with other players. Because if you look at his stats, or the stats of the Cavaliers, they're 4-21 when LeBron sits. And usually if LeBron sits, they're not going to sit Kevin Love and Kyrie. That's rare. So this is close to what the average record is when Kyrie plays with no LeBron since 2014 when LeBron came back. Kyrie and Kevin Love do not win games, and I think that's enough firepower with stars to win games, especially in the East, which that's where they play the majority of their games. I mean, he has an All-Star MVP, but once again, All-Star game, that's pure offense. That's just like these days, no one plays defense. Everyone knows it. Like the last 7 to 10 years, nobody's played defense in the All-Star games. So something like that, that's just like an offensive showcase. But this is kind of one of the reasons I want to say, I've seen a lot of AI comparisons recently. Don't ever do that. Don't ever compare Kyrie to AI. they're different players. They have a similar kind of, scoring attitude, but the winning attitude is completely different. AI dragged those Sixers, and those Sixers were trash as fuck. If you grew up in the 2000s or watched basketball in the 2000s, you know that AI dragged those Sixers to winning situations where he dragged them to the finals. And he actually stole a game. He scored like 50-something points, and he stole a game from the Lakers back in '01. But I mean, his brand of basketball, Kyrie's brand of basketball, it's beautiful to watch as a fan. If you're just a fan of him, if you're a fan of basketball or a teammate of his, it's hard to work with because he's going to use up a lot of time in the shot clock and dribbling the ball. And for a lot of players who have ability dribbling the ball as well, it's kind of hard to play off ball all of the time. So I mean, don't get this wrong. Kyrie is a bad motherfucker when it comes to just balling out on somebody one-on-one. But this kind of like this is just an overall thing where I'm saying some people are just a little overrated. When you put them up in terms of productivity with other point guards like Westbrook, Lillard, Wall, he just doesn't stack up because those other players, they make the players around him great as well. But he's a dominant offensive superstar when it comes to just scoring by itself. He's very good. But I'm bringing this up because he's talking about leaving, and I mean, I'm just saying this wouldn't be a smart thing for him to do. Running his own team, that would be a disaster with his offensive brand of basketball. I like the attitude though. I like the attitude of wanting to be competitive and not wanting to do it the cheap way. But I advise him to rethink that strategy because his brand of basketball doesn't translate well when it's just him running the show. All right, I'll catch you guys later. I'm actually going to be putting up some more videos real soon. That sleeper power forward video is going to be coming out soon. I'm also thinking of some new stuff to do. If you got any ideas, put it in the comments. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later.